Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We're getting ready to jump into our ninth session of our fourth season for DayTrippers / Night Trippers. I'm going to kick it over to Todd and we'll see what happened last week.
It was amazing what happened last week. It was a total cliffhanger. And it began on a cliffhanger, it ended on a cliffhanger. When it began, a vortex had opened up and you saw yourselves on the other side, like looking into a mirror, but it was yourselves from like a week ago or 10 days ago, like in the past. On the other side of the first time you saw that canister appear, you heard the other Nash yell, "That's live ordnance," and they hit the ground, and there's a little bit of a time difference between you and them, so you see them. It's kind of like a movie, but it's you, and they look up and recognize that they're seeing themselves. That's you from a few days ago, and then suddenly it's over. So Reggie starts thinking that your past selves then didn't get the canister, because they didn't. Instead, they saw you and got shocked. So the past echo of yourselves 10 days ago, Ulla has no nanopowers. And he can't shake the feeling that he's caused a split in reality. Now, there's another reality where Ulla never got her nanopowers. And had this weird echoing feeling of realities spinning within realities has a sort of a weird blended feel to it that's very uncomfortable. And it made him think of Frank. And then Reggie went into a tailspin. He started doubting this reality. And things are just getting weirder and weirder. It takes a while to calm him down. And Ulla inquires about Frank, and Reggie explains sort of a summary of that whole story. Frank was a mega powerful person who had 11 of him teamed up in a giant hive mind. And for a while, they took Reggie as an enemy, but then realized that they actually were on the same side. And that reality fell apart. That's the reality that Reggie thought was real once upon a time. Turned out to have been a bubble reality created by Frank. And ever since then, the boys have been bouncing from one reality to another. This is the longest they've been in a single reality, for weeks. About halfway to the city, night falls and they make camp. And Trae recognizes that he's got signal now and he can connect to the city hub, the electronic network. You're close enough. So he starts doing some research. He gets online, and it's all bad news. In this reality, they're all dead. Nash is a drunkard. Reggie died of an overdose. Trae died just a few weeks ago. The Hamlo family went bankrupt. This is like the worst possible timeline, the darkest timeline. Oh, and one more thing that he found that he hasn't said to anyone, but as of just little over 2 years ago, the new CEO of Wolfram is a guy called Ingwe Cordoba. Meanwhile, Ulla is talking to Reggie about his predicament, baby in a jar predicament. "Do you think Frank did this to you?" she asks, and Reggie says, "No." "Well, do you think you would do this to yourself?" Reggie says, "Yes, actually, I might." And then she said, "But would you do it to Nash?" She got him there. Reggie realizes he would not do it to Nash. Ulla believes the jar is nothing more than an appearance, right? It's actually all Reggie. It's all just Reggie. So the group decides to disassemble the jar to see what happens. Ulla lets the nanobots fly. They hit the jar. They break it apart in seconds. The baby falls to the ground. And suddenly this energy begins radiating from this frightened infant laying there kicking and screaming on the ground. Reality pixelates and freezes like a fucking mosaic image. Like the screen is buffering, the stream has stopped loading, and suddenly Frank is there. And he bends down and picks up the baby, looks straight into Reggie's eyes, and he shouts, "What the fuck are you trying to do?" That's where we left off. So I guess the first move is Reggie's, but then I'm going to have a psyche roll from Ulla.
Get him, John.
your body is racked with pain. This is not good. You don't feel happy at all. You probably pissed yourself. You're now a baby exposed to the toxic elements. Your poor, wet, moist skin is like feeling this terribly toxic air for the first time. You tumbled into the ground. You hit your face a little bit in the dirt, and then you're yanked up into the air by Frank, none other than Frank, staring you straight in the eyes, Reg.
You want me? Should I say a thing?
Or do a thing.
Is
mean,
it now?
if you want to.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say a thing, and then I want to, and then, well, I don't even. Well, yeah, we'll see. So I'm just going to say, okay. I'm going to get everyone home, even
Okay.
you.
And
fucking
what
lunatic.
everyone, including Reggie, hears is a baby crying nonsense. It's blubbering nonsense. And Ulla, I need you to make a psyche roll now. The roll as many dice as your psyche. Tell me the highest one.
Four.
Yeah. This is reality pixelating, and a man appearing from nowhere. You're having a hard time putting this together in your head. Do you know what Ulla does? What her stress response is, or do you want to roll it randomly?
I don't know if I ever covered that, so I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sort of taking control of your character for a bit. You're having difficulty processing. You're not quite paralyzed, but whatever you try to do next, your next action is going to be at a -1 because you're just having trouble processing what's happening.
Mhm.
You have heard them tell you stories about things like this, but now it's happening.
Yeah, pretty horrifying.
So Todd, I wonder if not so much for seeing Frank or having the world pixelate, because we've been through that a number of times now, but with Reggie being out of the jar and then us not actually hearing him, but hearing a baby crying.
Yeah,
is that a psyche check for Nash?
I think that could be. Yes.
I mean, I feel like that makes sense, right?
I feel like
it's no 300-foot baby crying, but you know.
If nothing else, you're expecting to hear his grown man voice. Yeah.
All right.
I think a psyche check is in order here.
Am I adding psychology, or is that just a straight check?
No.
You want to bring in the trauma table for this?
I'm not really going to help you here.
So my high is a 5.
Yeah, you succeeded. That's a yes. You don't like it. You were hoping it would go otherwise, but it makes sense. He needed the jar to translate his thoughts into words.
I probably. Well, I guess when we get into Frank's, I try to pick him up then. Or unless Frank is holding
right now, he's
him,
being held up in the air by Frank at eye level.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, and these are like instantaneous responses. I don't think I need to make Trae roll. Trae is just looking at this going, that's strange.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Very
Who do I
interesting.
shoot?
Who do I shoot? Who can I hack?
Okay, so everybody's just sort of standing there, stock still, when they hear this baby noise is coming out of Reggie's mouth. No one knows quite what to do. Frank is looking into your eyes, Reggie. He's getting further and further away. You see his mouth moving, but you don't hear what he's saying. Everything is tunneling away and away. Just blackness is encroaching in on everything you see. And you're starting to feel a warm cuddling like you're being held by a voluptuous grandmother who's just snuggling you to her gigantic breasts, and it feels so cozy. And out there in the other world, you're trying to focus on Frank and what he's saying, and the two realities are overlapping. And you need to make a choice. Which reality are you going to
Which reality am I going to
let happen?
let happen?
Yeah, because you can go either way right now.
I'm gonna go with my friends. Like I'm gonna go with my team, with my friends. Like no question. I want to
This is a
blast
psyche roll, then?
everything around me. Yeah.
This is a psyche roll. You do get to add lucid dreaming. Beat a 6.
Well, there is a 6 in there, so there's a 6 plus 4 is a 10.
Oh, okay. This is a yes, but you choose your friends. The other reality starts to fade away. You now feel uncomfortable. Your skin is slightly burning. Your head is bruised. You're confused and angry, but you've chosen to come back to your friends. And
I mean, I want to say yes, and I'm myself again. But you said
you are yourself again.
I am myself again, and
You're
I
a grown,
yes,
bald, naked man.
with a beard. Do I have my beard back, or should I just? I'll have to grow it back. No, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
You guys, that all happened instantly. That took less than a second. Frank picks the baby up, shouts at it. The baby cries, and then suddenly there's a man standing there. Nash, it's Reggie. It's Reginald Carlisle standing
Reggie!
fucking
Reg!
butt naked in front of you.
I like to think I collapsed to the ground.
As you start to crumble, I rush to you and grab you and pull you in.
all shivering and gross.
Trae will actually let go of Nash's shoulder to let
That's right,
him
the shoulder.
go.
Oh, yeah.
What
Not
happened?
Not only does
Fuck.
Reggie collapse to the ground, but Frank also collapses to the ground. And he's laying there in the puddle of juices from the jar. And he's holding his head and sort of slightly rolling back and forth like he's got a tremendous headache.
Are you okay, man? What happened? Where did you go? What?
Where is it? I don't know. Are we back? Are we back?
Do you remember anything? Everything?
I don't even know where.
Ulla, I think you need to sit down.
I think she's probably already rocking on the ground.
Trae has already shot Frank 12 times.
Trae will actually. Yeah, go ahead.
No, she's literally like, you know how like you crouch down and you're sort of like your hands are just kind of like on your head like this.
Mm.
And she's just like looking down at the ground and just like closing her eyes, like, you know what, if I just don't look at this, maybe my brain will stop.
A good approach.
Trae will actually go and take a knee like a couple feet away from Ulla.
Yeah,
Okay, and Frank sits up. He looks at Reggie. He says he's obviously in great pain. He seems to be straining himself.
I told you I'd see you soon.
He's
From like 9 episodes ago.
Frank says, "Look, I don't know who you are, but I know that you and I are connected somehow." And then he looks at Ulla, and he says, "And I know they're after you." And he looks around. They could be watching any minute. I can't stay long. Don't come here. And then, bzz, like a TV screen fading, like an old style TV screen fading to a white dot, and he's gone.
what the fuck? And I take, if I have like a coat off, like I give him a coat to put on because he's shivering or whatever. Like, he's like feeling his face. He's
Am I dead?
Are you okay? Do you feel okay? I mean,
yeah. Reggie looks up and down, just kind of taking stock and seeing if my limbs work and everything. And I think everything's working and back. I think.
Psyche roll, Reggie.
Oh boy. There is a 6 in there.
Yeah. Okay. Stuff is starting to make sense now. Remember, like for the last day or two, you've been having these weird thoughts about Frank, and day before that, you had a dream about 11 Franks coming through these fractures and whatnot. Because Frank has been here the whole time. Frank is. You now realize Frank's been keeping an eye on you. Frank's been watching you guys.
From this side, like
he recognized you. He said, "I don't know who you are," but the look on his face was he knew he was talking to someone that he recognized.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can't. You've never met Frank in this reality.
He doesn't seem to remember me, but I remember meeting him in other realities.
Well, so either he met the other Reggie, the one who's dead, or he met you in a dream somehow, which is not out of the realm of possibility for him.
Okay. I'm gonna try to stand up now.
yeah, come here. Give me. He leans in so you can put an arm around him. He tries, helps you up. And...
Yeah, I think Reggie. I look at Nash, just like look face to face, and just like I see. Feels like I'm seeing you for the first time in a while, for realsies. You know, and then I just like firm embrace, just big old firm embrace.
Yeah, he leans in, gives you a hug. He kisses you on your bald head.
Oh, thank you for okay, yeah. So all right, that's good. It's good.
I didn't know if you were gonna make it back to us. I mean, it was glad to have you, like even as a baby, but it's good. It's good to see you, to see the real you.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to see the real. Well, you've always been the real. Think for a second. No, you've always been the real you, and it's good to see you too. It's kind of like turns to Trae. Trae, it's thank you. Thank you for showing me all of that. And hello, Ulla. I'm Reggie.
I told you he was a man.
And thank you for using your magnificent nanobots, and your flawless logic against my baby-like understanding of the situation.
Have you ever made a bee's knees cocktail? It's great.
Never.
It's really good. I also really like Empress layovers.
Empress layovers.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Well, I say there's probably no bars around here, but let's get to the first bar we find, and I will have an Empress layover. Oh.
I think I could use a couple of drinks right now.
Yeah. Reggie straightens his back and sort of like stretches out and goes, yeah. Baby.
Tod? So
yeah, I crashed and came back in, and now I'm here twice. So look out, there's 2 Tods now.
So Ulla has a DNI, right?
Yeah.
Is there any way? Now, I don't want this to sound malicious, okay? Is there any way that I could perhaps access it only to well, actually, I don't know how deep hers goes though, because you know how like Trae's control, he has control
Remember,
over
she
like
specifically put it
mediating
one way.
all chemical balances in the body and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but when you guys linked up that one time, you both put in failsafe one way.
Yeah, true.
You'd have to hack it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right, I'll leave it for now. You're not in
Back
a
off!
super
Oh,
bad
okay.
place.
That is some
I
really,
want to
really
see if I could give you like a
abstract
quick
PvP.
burst of endorphin just to like level you out.
How about this? So as Reggie's like stretching and like checking all of his limbs and everything, Nash comes over, kneels down next to Ulla, puts a hand on her, like very slowly and very visibly, like puts a hand on your shoulder, and says, "Are you gonna be okay?"
She like turns really quickly and like grabs him by the shoulders and is like, "You're here. Okay, you're here. You're solid.
It's
you're
me.
solid. You're
here. We're both here. This is Reggie. The other guy that was Frank, but he doesn't.
Now remember, just a few hours ago, Ulla was asking Reggie about, who is this Frank I keep hearing about? And the way that he described it, he was so vague because he was summarizing, right? But he was so vague, it was almost like a demigod. And now you've seen him, and he poofed in and he poofed out. It's like, holy fuck, what was that?
So that was him,
Mhm.
and he's here.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's good or bad,
Mm-mm.
because he didn't really recognize us, but
Mm-mm.
but we've got Reggie, and we have that in our favor.
Mhm.
We should probably get him pants. Probably pants. Are you going to be okay?
Ulla's
Mm-mm.
slightly, a little bit
I'll actually,
trembly, I
as
think.
we'll almost like Nash and Trae will actually almost like trade teammates. And so like as Nash comes over to Ulla, Trae will walk over and he had his clothes already. He was well, we all had clothes, but he'll take like some of like the dust covering. He probably has like a dust jacket or something that he got from Ulla's camp before they left. They kind of piled up a little bit. So he'll take that and like put it over Reggie just so he has something.
Thank you. I repurpose it into some sort of like towel
Kilt-like.
after you get out of a shower, and I just wrap it around. So I'm wearing the jacket, I guess, and now this garment of this like half or like skirt-esque dress pant, not pants. It's an open
Like a kilt.
skirt. A kilt. We could kilt
There you
down
go.
to the I'm kilting it.
So what I would like to do, Todd, is make a psychology check, make a psychic check using psychology to settle Ulla down, and essentially, be like, we told you there was weird shit. You've
That was
seen the
fucking
reality.
terrifying. That was fucking terrifying. It's one
Yeah.
thing to be like, weird things happen. That was terrifying.
But you see the reality. I mean, we fell out of a crack in the sky. I mean, this is.
Yes, but that thing like just destroyed everything. Like it pixelated the entire world. It's really like here's a little hole. That's
Yeah.
fucked up. The entire world is messed up.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
It's just different. It's just different. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm like just everything under my feet and everything around me and nothing feels real and
Because, we've all heard the rumors about, or the questions about, do we live in a simulation?
So, like, I think he still has a hand on her shoulder. So, like, he just gives her a light squeeze and says, "This is real. You're real. We're real. It's gonna be fine."
Reggie.
Yes.
Are you better? Are you happier? Is this good?
I'll say this. I feel different.
Taller.
Taller, yes. Yes, I'm certainly taller. I feel different, and I think it's good.
You also feel a little chilly. Maybe you guys should go into the tent. I'm imagining you're out because I don't think you would have disassembled the jar inside the tent.
No. Okay, so she's just kind of, I think she just goes quiet at that point, and if she kind of, goes over to where Reggie is, and she's just like, it helped. Just tell me it helped. Just tell me it helped.
It was amazing.
Okay, good.
Everything that just happened in the last few minutes, or I guess it was shorter than a minute, but it felt like minutes. Everything that happened in the last few minutes was the best thing to have happened.
Who is Frank, and what is he? He's terrifying. Is he an alien?
I don't think so. I think he's just a man.
That's not really comforting.
Well, for all I know, he's just a man who can do what I do a lot better.
You've actually had a look at him, right? So he's sort of a scrawny, very pale, white man in maybe his mid-30s.
But if you can deconstruct reality, you can make yourself look like anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's right. Yeah.
So she's like, he looked like a man, so.
I think maybe the reality of what just happened and whether or not he physically caused it and what that actually means, we can sort of leave that open for discussion later when we actually get to that.
She just kind of reaches up and she grabs him by the shoulders again just to be like, okay, you're real. Yes. You're actually here.
Yeah, you did. You helped with this. This is good. This is me, I used to have a nice beard, I'm going to grow it back in though.
Great. And she goes and she gives him just a quick hug.
Aww.
And
then I hug you back. Reggie loves hugs. I can give hugs again. I give hugs.
Reggie hugs are the best hugs.
She gives him a really quick hug, and then she realizes she's kind of hyperventilating. And then
it's not a quick hug. It's not a quick hug for Reggie though. I keep you in hug. This hugging's it's okay. It's good. It's good. Just let it be.
I can't breathe. Stop.
No, okay, sorry. I forgot. I've been a little baby for so long. I didn't even realize that I had strength. But now, you're right.
Yeah, she is just a little hysterical and trying to reason and reaffirm reality a little bit, and okay, and then you can tell that she maybe just needs a little time.
If I could just say one more thing, regardless of what just happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about what we were trying to do before has changed. That was a little bump, and now we're back on that path. Does that you know what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I just, at any point, I feel like a demigod named Frank is going to disassemble reality.
Right. Well, I'm just going to go. No, you know what? We'll just say maybe.
That doesn't help me, Reggie.
Yeah, you're right. That wasn't the best. It's almost better to sort of take it inside, just hold it here and just say, at any time, a fucked up demigod named Frank can undo reality. And just have that live inside of you for a little bit. Just let it kind of disperse. And it happens a lot less than you think.
And I don't really want to listen to this anymore. She just goes in the tent.
Reggie kind of turns and looks at Nash and Nash and Trae just goes, I guess it's back.
Nope.
I guess I'm back.
When you are used to realities crashing around you multiple times as we have become. Oh yeah. This is.
Trae is
I suppose
to
you
an empty space on the screen. And she's like,
oh no, I'm talking to Reggie and Nash at this point.
Yeah, she's just like.
And he said, when you are used to multiple realities crashing around you consistently, perhaps we have just become accustomed to this sort of thing. Whereas this is Ulla's first experience with this sort of situation. So it is, I feel like, an appropriate response.
Yeah, it is. And plus,
She
Reggie,
will get used to it eventually, though.
Probably the healthiest
it's
thing
probably
that could happen.
best that she left, because like the very next thought, Reggie, I don't know if you would say this to her, but I'm sure you may have already said it to Nash and Trae, that there's something about this reality that's more malleable than the one you guys came from. This reality never has been as stable. In other words, it's much easier for not only you but Frank.
You're saying it's not as stable?
Oh yeah, that's why you've been able to do things in this reality you could never do on your home Earth.
Right.
So
And
this
that's probably
reality
why
is
it was
not
so
as
easy.
stable,
Yeah.
as the one you come from. And if it's easier for you, that means it's much easier for Frank.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, if you're able to jump really high in Earth gravity, then this is like going to the moon.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, I think I probably now that I think it's probably safe to say that it goes without saying that this things are a little bit more malleable here. I think we could probably just, and Reggie's just looking down at his feet, like kicking rocks with his bare feet. Like we can probably just know that moving forward, things are malleable.
we always had that suspicion, considering the experiments that Wolfram has been doing.
Yeah, we gotta shut that shit down.
Yeah, Reggie. Everybody actually. No, everybody except Ulla. Brains roll, because it sounds like you're all still standing outside.
3.
6.
3.
Nash. There's something on the ground that you're looking at the ground where the puddle of liquid used to be, and you notice a glint off of something, and you go over, and it's just a few feet away, and you go over and look at it. It looks like a diamond.
I bend down, I pick it up, wipe it off, dust it off, whatever.
Yeah, it's about an inch long, an inch across. If it's not a diamond, it's something. I mean, you're not a mineralogist, but it's sparkly and shiny, and it has like you can see through it very clearly.
And it's where the tank was disassembled.
It's where the tank.
Reg, are you holding out on us? And he holds out his hand with the diamond, palm up.
But where'd you get that?
It was over there where the tank was disassembled.
Psyche roll for Reggie, thank you.
The fuck kind of shit? Oh, 3. Do I add anything? No, it's just a 3 psyche.
No, yeah, you don't know where that's from. It disturbs you a little bit, and you don't know why.
I gotta say, I'm a bit disturbed by this, but I can't know why. So I just
could potentially be the rematerization of your initial container. If the nanobots were to have disassembled it, the matter has to go somewhere. So they could have transformed it into this crystal.
Yeah, but that's what's unnerving about this, because the liquid evaporated, it's gone. The baby turned into a man, which takes more matter. But then diamonds are really dense. Where did this matter come from?
Yeah.
And does it matter?
You don't think you're missing any parts. I mean, you're probably like touching yourself and thinking, is that part of me? You don't feel like it is.
I feel everything. I try to find something that's missing.
Nothing's missing.
Everything's here. I can't, it's not a part of me.
I mean, I feel like we should probably hold on to this. This could be something. I mean, it's got to be something.
It does have to be something.
You want to hold on to it?
I'll take it. Reggie takes it and puts it in his pocket.
You don't have any pockets. You have a
In the
blanket.
coat.
I have a jacket. I'm wearing a
He has my
jacket.
coat now.
I'm
Yeah.
sporting it.
Kilt.
Open, bare-chested jacket and
Yeah,
kilt.
and a kilt. Nice. Well, it's time to take your open bare-vested jacket
barefoot.
into the tent because it's getting cold out here, and you all gotta get moving in the morning.
So if Trae goes in first, as Reggie turns to head back into the tent, Nash just throws an arm around him again, and kind of pulls him in. He says, "Fuck, man, I really missed you. I'm glad you're back."
Reggie does like reciprocal arms, so we're intertwining arms. This is Nash. I'm happy to be back with you again.
I mean, no matter what happens, I got you here with me.
And I got your back, and I'm never gonna let go again. How about that?
And he doesn't say anything, but then he pulls you in for a big hug. Then
Yeah, there's more man hugs.
Sweet. Trae, what are you doing?
I'm sending my drone and my Ratbot out for concentric parameter sweeps.
Perimeter recon. Yeah. Okay. Good
Yep.
idea. And so everybody goes into the tent, and let's zoom forward a few hours, see if your recon turns anything up. Oh, it does turn something up.
Oh, and also while he has the two cameras views from the drones, he's also just scrolling radio stations as he finally has a connection.
Oh, he's just inputting. He's inputting.
Yep, he's got Spotify and he's just doing random channel.
Ulla's drinking whatever cheap ass grain alcohol straight she can find. It's just just literally like, how shit faced can I get, and how quickly?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think the Terminationer would have had some high shelf shit there.
right?
Yeah, like motor oil, fermented motor oil.
Yes,
I
it's
think
just like,
Nash
something.
keeps trying to slide like a container of water
Yeah.
over to you reach for a glass, and he pushes the thing over.
Reggie's looking back and
I'm no
forth,
rookie. I
having,
don't need to water this down.
having flashbacks.
I'm here to do
from
some damage.
Nash's drinking days.
Yeah, that
No.
he's I mean, I don't know, not concerned, I guess, right? Like
Oh,
it's a shock, but
yeah.
oh, you're gonna be useless tomorrow.
Right.
We're just going to monitor. We're going to monitor and just
Sometimes you
be.
just have to create a containment unit for the
Yes.
mess. It's
Safe.
gonna be a mess.
This is understandable, acceptable, and you are safe to do so.
She's like, "Fuck you."
It is appropriate. I accept that response.
So
Yeah, she's
we take.
definitely belligerently drunk at some point. Where she's
We're gonna have to take turns doing watch and divide the night up and make sure. Everybody
Yeah.
Ulla doesn't take watch.
She's like, "What is there to watch? Because reality's not even real, guys."
Oh, now you got it. Yeah.
Well, we have to make sure that
Oh.
if Frank comes back, someone has to. I'm just kidding. It's not going to happen again. I'm just.
Oh, just bring him into the party. Here's a drink.
Nash leans in and says,
I just
"Reg,
wanted to-
we probably shouldn't tell her that you could do that too, right? Like, I think it might be the last button to push."
I don't know if it's better to not tell her that I can or to not tell her that I'm not sure that I can at all. I don't know that I can do what he can do. Or do I tell her I can't do that? I can't tell what's better. So I'm just going to zip it, not going to say
Yeah.
anything. I'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
first watch.
Well,
What would be worse, the fact that there's a demigod out there, or that there's two demigods, but there's one of them's on our side?
Who's less competent than the one that can break reality?
But one of them is a big, friendly, naked man who gives good hugs.
Yeah.
The other one's a scrawny little dude with wild eyes.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't judge that book by that cover.
You're probably right. But you know what? You have seen baby Reggie do like basically magic stuff, and there's really no reason to assume that now he's a man that he can't still do those things.
Yeah. I mean, not that she. How do I put this?
No, you're right that you've seen him do inexplicable things, but it's totally different to see reality pixelate around you. That's a whole nother level.
Yeah, she's just like we went from something that seemed like psychic powers or maybe superhero powers to demigod powers, which in her mind is just a whole other level. And she's just like, fine.
Perhaps there's some culpability here, as maybe we didn't or we held back explaining the gravity of the situation out of fear that maybe something like this, would happen. And but yeah, no, this was always a possibility. And you know what? I'm just going to go do first watch.
To be fair, we didn't know that Frank was here. I mean,
no, that's a new thing. That was a fun thing.
Was it though?
I don't know. I'm still sort of I'm balancing out whether or not it's a good thing that he didn't know me, because we have a history. I thought it was kind of fun. That, we saw him again.
A fun thing.
Well, I mean, he said,
right,
"Don't
guys.
come here," but we're already on the planet. I mean, did he mean not come to his location? But I mean, if he's with Wolfram, then that's where we have to go. All right. I mean, that's the goal.
I don't want to fucking listen to this anymore.
Hey, you know what? Let's table this. But I think we've done pretty well doing the opposite of what Frank says in the past. So I mean, let's table it for now. I think Ulla's had enough. I mean, continue to have another drink. I just mean had enough of this topic.
He's just like, here.
But also, listen, I had another thought. This is sort of off topic. Yeah. Reggie takes one. He just takes it out of courtesy. I grab one. I'm not gonna. But it doesn't. I had a thought actually before I head out for first watch. And he takes the crystal out. He goes, "I'm gonna say this about this thing." Okay.
What the fuck is that?
It's nothing. It's probably. Yeah,
it looks like a diamond.
It's more like a diamond, right? So I want to say this.
Trae, have you analyzed that?
That's exactly where I was going.
I do not
Ulla,
have the tools to analyze it currently.
All right, so Ulla is going to send her nanobots out to look at it.
Hold on. Wait.
they would come out.
I'm like, wait, nanobots. Hold, so. Do you think maybe that was the whole point of me taking this out? I was going to say I'm probably not the best equipped to examine this thing, but maybe Ulla, maybe tomorrow. You want to look at it tomorrow? Yeah, maybe not now, because of just everything.
I believe Reggie is insinuating that you are too inebriated at the moment to do a proper analysis on that material.
And we've all seen what you can do with these nanobots, and I'd like to keep my general form that I just got back intact for just a little while longer. So maybe, I'll put it back in my pocket, maybe tomorrow, nanobots, please?
Fine.
Yeah. We have plenty
consent
of time.
Is important, of course. We always ask for consent. Fine.
There's plenty of time for Crystal. I've made a couple of mistakes.
Is it God poop? What are you carrying?
Can you imagine if I'm holding God poop? What would that do? We can discuss this all tomorrow. I'll be on first watch.
Created in dying stars, like all the iron we have, it's created from dying stars.
Reggie's really hit the wall. This is
a fun new side that I think we should see her through the night and make sure everything's good. I'm kind of wondering at this point, what is our watch going to be? The surrounding environs, or Ulla?
We are all made of star stuff.
We are made of star stuff.
she's
She's
probably
right.
going to pass out sooner or later. And Trae's got the bots out, so like,
Oh, that's
I
right.
think we're
yeah.
probably fine.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
All
not
right,
saying
well-
we should all just go to sleep, but like, somebody should stay up.
Starting
Are
to
the,
list.
are the bots enough? Are the bots enough? Maybe we'll have like
What
an
else?
Ulla watch.
So Trae, it's kind of like a previous thing, but he sometimes likes to go a little old school, where he has actual headphones, like little AirPods things. But so he's kind of archaeo tech every once in a while because it's cool. And
As a style,
so-
just style points.
yeah, style points, yeah. So he'll actually take those out and give one to Nash and one to Reggie. And say, I will have the bots alert the system if there is anything recognized outside. I can have an alert play through the earphones so that we can all be alerted to whatever movement is going on. You will only have the audible alert, obviously. But please do not touch me, Ulla. But at the very least, please do not. At the very least, we will all have some sort of alert if there is an issue.
Good thing, Trae.
That's pretty good thinking. That's pretty good.
There were a lot of words. So wordsy.
There were a lot. He's good at the words, though. He is good at them.
Really, he's not.
I apologize, Ulla. I will attempt to keep myself more concise the next time that I attempt an explanation.
Trae, I'm really drunk. Don't take anything I say seriously, but you are my friend. So
Oh, that's nice.
I'm not sure about you yet, Reggie.
And
I-
Trae will just kind of
Totally
like,
understandable.
yeah. Trae will like look at Ulla, look at the two of them, look at Ulla, and then just kind of like full body turn and like go sit against the wall.
Listen, I like all of you. No, I'm giving you a hard time, Reggie, just because your friend disassembled reality. I'm having a hard time coping. But okay, so assuming that things aren't going to immediately just kind of fall apart around us, and there's like any point to any of this, well, I don't think I have a point. Is there any point to any of
There
this?
is a point. Oh,
Actually,
there's
I
always
kind
a
of feel
point.
I kind of feel like the whole monologue that Ulla just said, that's what it sounded like in her head, but actually she's like in her sleeping bag, just kind of mumbling into the pillow. You guys are just hearing.
She's gonna just, All right, I'm just gonna go to sleep now.
Yes, you go to sleep. You're fine. Everything's fine.
We should probably drag her bag closer to the door in case she vomits, right? Like, we don't want that in the tent.
I don't know. Do you see how quickly she just like released her nanobots into my face? I was thinking that was it. I was like, "Yep, here we go. I'm out."
Yeah, that would have been real bad.
I'm kind of thinking like, let's just make sure everything's, and then leave her be.
Okay,
You know?
all right. Well, is there a
She
bucket or
seems
something
to,
here?
she seemed to trust you a lot more when you were a baby. Is she ageist?
No, I think she just witnessed a whole lot of shit.
It's been a bad
Yeah.
weeks for sanity's sake. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
eventually everyone does get some sleep, and it's maybe not a full night's sleep, and for Ulla in particular, it might be a little bit fuzzy in the morning. But you're all awakened suddenly, and Trae a few seconds before everybody else, because you get the alert first. Then it goes out through the network. You know exactly what it is, and your responses are like keyed. You jump up. There's the sound of motors coming this way. And then a few seconds later, Nash and Reggie, you realize you're hearing this sound and it's not a dream. Like you suddenly started dreaming about cars or motorcycles or something. But then you realize it's not a dream and you're starting to wake up. And that's real. You're hearing it.
Does the drone have anything on video?
Yeah, there are 3 vehicles. It's 2 motorcycles and a large sort of a rebuilt pickup truck with an extra long bed and a bunch of crap like stood up on panels in the back of the bed, decorated with all sorts of weird memorabilia like trophies pulled off of other vehicles and flags and banners. You've never seen anything like it. It's a weird mix of RKO tech and like barbaric tribal symbology, like painted and decorated vehicles.
It's Fury Road.
Now, it's
Guns out.
It's a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I can go meta and say it's a little bit Mad Max, it's a little bit Fury Road. This is some sort of roadster tribe, and they're coming northward. Their vehicles have super high suspension, and they're just running right over the rubble.
Hide all the chrome.
So, what does our situation look like? So, I feel like if there were shrubs, cover, trees that we would have posted the tent up in, Nash would be like, oh, here's a complete open piece of ground. Let's pitch the tent right here where everyone can see it.
Yeah,
unless that's all that's around.
There's not a whole lot of cover. There's no trees. There are some shrubs here and there. So you found the best spot you could. But you had been on this, I don't want to say road, but it's kind of a semi-trodden paved area that was pretty featureless.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine.
And it is up this road that the engines are coming. They seem to be maybe a mile out. They're loud.
So does Trae do anything first then?
Yeah, so I will actually kind of, if I see everybody awake, or at least Nash and Reggie awake, then I will, quietly, trying not to wake Ulla up immediately, tell them 3 units incoming. I am not sure how many people. There are 2 motorcycles and 1 truck. They do appear to be some sort of local establishment.
Do you have time to break this tent down, do you think, or no?
I do not think so.
Fuck.
They'll probably be here in a minute or 2. Depends how fast they're going.
I want to try to blend our whole tent encampment in with the surrounding environment so that it's just camouflaged. We're just completely camouflaged.
That's going to be really hard in 30 seconds.
I'm willing to try it.
Okay. Do we have survival, camouflage, tactical training, anything we can add to this?
I think he's talking about
No. I
lucid
mean,
dreaming.
like, I want to change reality so that we're just made of rocks.
Okay.
The
All
surrounding
right.
environment.
It's an elven cloak.
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha. But you're going to need to keep this up for more than a single frame.
I have blood to give. Was that the line? It wasn't.
Okay. You need to beat an 8 here.
Is Ulla awake?
Everybody is awakened because these motors are loud. So
Okay. Does she recognize them?
Yeah.
Lucid dreaming. I have an 8 exactly.
What's your brains, Ulla? Go ahead and make a brains roll.
Let's see.
Meanwhile, Nash is up, rifle in hand.
Oh, I got a 6.
It's not like you recognize the engines in particular, but if when Trae says some local establishment, the first thing you think of is, there are roadster merchants, traders, caravans that just run around from settlement to settlement trading shit. and that's the most likely.
She'll say that then. She'll be like, and she looks a little worse for the wear. So she's like, and she's kind of looking out, and she's like, then maybe those are just traitors, Reggie, before you give yourself a nosebleed.
It's too late!
Did you roll already?
I did. I got an 8 exactly. With the I rolled a 4 plus 4, 8. So that's a yes, but right.
Correct.
Did I say 7? What did I say?
You said
I
8.
thought you said 8.
Oh, you hit it exactly. That's a yes, but.
Okay.
So yes, you do manage to make everything appear like nothing, and as these 3 vehicles approach, you appear to be just part of the rock. But then you sneeze, and the whole illusion just disappears.
The count of the blood.
Nash wipes all the blood off his face.
And outside, you hear the vehicle squeal to a stop. Trae, through your drone vision, you can see that there's only 3 people here. The driver of the truck is a big, fat, jolly-looking guy who steps out and scratches his head, looking in the direction of your tent. He's signaling to the other 2 to back him up, but nobody's got any weapons out.
So yeah, he will say then they have stopped outside of the tent. They are approaching, but as can I see, are they completely unarmed, or do they just not have weapons out at the moment?
Let's call it a brains roll. You're looking from quite a distance.
That's a 5.
A 5?
5.
Do you have awareness or anything?
No.
I imagine that would track. No.
Yeah, actually, the 2 cycle riders, they do have what looks like maybe shotguns or rifles strapped on their back.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, I'll say 2 of them are. There are 3. 2 are armed, but none of them have weapons drawn at the moment.
Todd, what does full spectrum vision do for me?
It allows you to see like infrared and ultraviolet, so that you can see further and more clearly under bad lighting conditions, etc.
Okay.
So you've got like built-in night vision and infrared.
Okay. She's going to sort of circle away from where they're coming in and just.
Well, you guys are all inside the tent, off the road.
In the tent?
Well,
we haven't left the tent yet.
I thought we were standing outside.
You may now if you want to.
I guess she'll get out. Her hand's on her weapon.
Trae will follow behind.
She's not pulling it out, but she's just got her hand on her weapon. Like,
Nash, do you have any extra weapons?
Just this one.
Right,
Ulla
cool.
gave me this one.
Nah, it's cool.
You got your brain, man.
I'll use the greatest weapon that there is. My mind. I wipe some blood away from my. All right, let's do this.
Oh, wait. Let's see what happens, because I don't know how many people are here, right? So we'll have a drop on them if push comes to shove.
That's true. Maybe I'll make
Nash,
like 7 more.
Nash is in the middle of that sentence when you hear a voice calling out from the road. Hey, True Blood Traders here. Y'all want to come out and trade? We got some good stuff. We got some new stuff.
We could get you some pants.
Could use some
maybe.
Pants. Actually, I could really use some shoes.
Yeah, shoes.
Yes, coming.
Shows you the bottom of his feet. It's all bloody.
Yeah.
Feet.
So yeah,
Trae is definitely letting Ulla take the lead on this one.
Yeah. She's like,
even though she completely hammers still.
She's hungover. She's just like, she has no fucks left to give. Absolutely not. She's like,
she's gonna do great. She's gonna
Ulla
degrade.
half in the bag is still better than a sober Trae dealing with this situation.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so
So-
she will slowly approach them. She'll put her hands out, just kind of away from her.
Okay, so we got two kind of scrawny looking guys. All these guys are like dark leather skin. These guys have lived out here for a long time, and you can't really even tell what natural color their skin is. They're just covered in grease and dirt and years of horrible sun beating down on them. But the two scrawny guys are staying back on the road. They're kind of standing at ease in a way, not like they're military or anything, but they seem pretty casual, like they do this all the time. And up in front of you is just obese gentlemen. You've actually never seen anyone this large. I mean, there's no reason to be this large. And he's got tufts of different colored hair popping out of different parts of his head and then shaved bald in between. So he's got a kind of a clownish appearance. He wants to shake your hand, and he's covered in all sorts of weird gear, like little trinkets, jewelry, feathers, little ropes and stuff just like hanging off of every part of his body. It's hard for him to lift his arm because he's so fat, but he introduces himself as True Blood, and he points at the truck. That's True Blood's trading. Now, I know you're a bargain hunter. Come on up. I'll see what you got. You see what we got. If you're looking for some cyber eyes, we got some new tougher cyber eyes. This shit will take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? You've got multi-AR display resolution of 4,000 nanobits. You've got extra wide hub reception and fits into any standard eye socket. Let me show you some.
She's like, she kind of looks back at the other guys like,
how the fuck did he know that she was a bargain hunter? There's no way he could know that.
Everybody in the desert is a bargain hunter.
She's gonna kill this guy.
Maybe. We should probably go out. Her and Trae together, probably not a good combo.
Or the best
3 on
combo.
2, easy.
best combo ever. All right, so she walks over to see what he's got. She very purposefully doesn't shake his hand or touch him in any way because she's just got no interest in this.
It's a good move. It's a good move. Not touching him.
No. Like, I mean,
Nash and Reggie follow up 20 yards behind. He slings the rifle, right, so as not to be a threat.
Yeah.
And
we're just giving commentary on the whole situation.
she's like, look, I'm just looking for some clothes and maybe a weapon. And then she kind of looks back at Reggie like,
shoes.
Points to his feet.
Shoes. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say clothes, he waves it at his assistants, and that guy drags a case out from the back of the truck, and he's beginning to open it up. When you say weapons, he says, no, hold it right there. And then he squints at you with one eye, and he moves his index finger up and down a little bit. Trae, you recognize what he's doing. He's scanning you to make sure you're not a cop. And then he lowers his voice and leans in, and he says, we might be able to talk about that as long as you keep it out of the city, of course. We would never carry anything in or out of the city, of course. And he winks at you. Big stage wink.
Of course. Yeah.
Trae will lean over to Ulla and be like, what would we do then? Our plan is to take these into the city.
It's just like there's like an immediate elbow jab.
This could not have gone any better.
Yes, of course, we would never go into the city. And then she glares at Trae.
Yeah, so he speaks almost in whispering tones, as he goes inside the cab and he motions you to like get real close because like he doesn't want anybody else to see with this special precious thing. Underneath the seat, he's got a ornate box that he pulls out, and he says, "These must have been worth something because look at this." And there's initials on the box, JH. And then he's got a little clasp on it, and he opens it. It's like an antique box. This is like archaeotech. It's non-digital, right? Hand-polished wood. Someone took good care of this thing. And inside, there's 2 machine pistols. They're nice, little snub-nosed, perfectly tooled machine pistols. There's 2 of them. What you got to trade?
That's a really good question.
So Nash steps up then and says, he leans into Ulla and then pulls back for a minute because the smell of alcohol is just like overpowering. And then he leans back in again and he says,
So when it comes out your pores.
It's good though. You want to sweat it out. It's good.
we could give him the tent and all the booze and shit and stuff that's left in there. Right? I mean, fuck it. What difference does it make? We found it anyway.
I mean, maybe save a little bit of booze.
I'm sorry.
I don't think she needs it. Yeah. It's fine.
Fine. All right, we'll get rid of the booze. I've got a gas torch. Maybe he wants a gas torch. That's pretty useful. You can like fix shit with it.
I don't know if we have a whole lot of booze. That wasn't necessarily stated. We don't really. I mean, we've had a couple nights of drinking. We've had a couple nights of drinking already. How much booze you got?
True. What did Ulla leave?
So she'll offer a gas torch. See if
More
he's
for the
interested.
And Ulla actually has. Trae has 2 liter propane tanks that he'll also put in the mix.
A gas torch and 2 propane tanks. Okay.
And the tent.
And the tent.
Oh well, sold. I was going to make somebody roll, but if you're throwing in the tent, well, absolutely, I can absolutely.
We're gonna be in the city by the end of the day. So
this is fine quality stuff right here. In fact,
Can you throw in the clothes and the boots, please? I mean, come on.
In a blade, if you've got. I'm looking for a good blade too. If you've got one.
Blade? Oh, fine, Jack.
Well, I mean,
you know what?
Give him a tent.
Yeah, True Blood is so happy that you're thrown in the tent. Nash, you've got a really nice blade now. He's throwing in a stun baton, which is nice because your old one was destroyed by nanobots. Both machine pistols and 30 full clips for each. This tougher tent is like top of the line. This is probably like a $20,000 tent.
I would like some sort of footwear.
Oh! I'm sorry. That's also included.
So these Birkenstock sandals are all you have.
As a matter of fact,
you know what? No, that's fine.
No.
So
I just rolled a 5. It's not bad. He's got some selection here for you. So what these guys, I'll let you choose. But what these guys have basically done just recently was they found a suburb where they raided like people's garages and basements, and so it's mostly like domestic gear. But every once in a while in someone's garage, you come across something like antique weapons. Or a bunch of clothing. So it could be all sorts of different styles. He's got a variety here to choose from.
Okay. Chuck Taylors. High top Chuck Taylors.
Gotta go the high tops. Yep.
And I would like a gun. A long gun, preferably. So that I can take full advantage of my +2 long gun skill.
Well, I'll give you the rifle and take the pistols if you want.
But do you have some sort of skill that takes advantage of a long gun?
Well, of course, it's a military training that we've had. It'd be
No,
fine.
don't hinder yourself just so I can have, you know?
No,
Well,
no,
actually,
we're
the
good.
2 machine pistols are the only weapons that Trueblood has. He doesn't even consider the knife a weapon. He throws that in as a freebie.
I will take the 2 machine pistols.
Are you sure, Reg? I'm happy to take them.
Now, I'm into this. I'm going to be
Alright.
dual wielding like a son of a bitch.
You only got 60 rounds, though. Like, just fucking.
Oh, right. So no spray and pray is what you're saying.
No, so
No,
you got
no, no.
60,
Okay.
60 clips.
Reggie,
Oh, 60 magazines.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
She's
shit.
like-
Okay, that's not what I wrote
This
down.
guy's rolling dirty over here.
Reggie, you have to create a hat, a really big hat.
Oh. Okay, are we talking like sombrero big? Like comical sombrero? Or
Can you
like,
turn your skin blue?
probably. I've never tried it.
Fang?
I hate you, Jack. I hate you.
What?
I hate you. You're so mean.
I'm used to that.
Reggie
He's ready to
hugs
walk
Jack.
It would be the
Oh,
first time I
no.
had a woman tell me that.
You earned it.
So the trade goes well. Trueblood and his friends, Piggy and Stone, they're all real happy with the trade, and they're packing up their shit and getting back on their vehicles. And then he waves a circle up around the sky, and he says, "You probably want to stay hid, like you were before. I hear they're going to be sending out drones again for salvage this afternoon. Just thought I'd let you know. Word to the wise." Ha!
This sector here?
Yeah, this sector right here. Probably
Thanks for
out
the heads
for
up.
about another 7-8 clicks that way.
Good.
So it's this
Good.
whole ring.
Good information to have. Thanks.
All right, we got to keep moving. Come on, boys. And off they go.
Well, I'm glad I only partially camouflaged us on purpose.
She's like, how's your nose?
It's fine. It's fine. I got it. Creates a tissue out of nowhere. And it just, I bet reality to get a tissue.
She just kind of stomps off.
We don't have the
Where
time
you
anymore.
going?
That way. Where are we going? She stops. She's like, which way are we going? Where are we going from here? I have a headache.
Into the city, right? I mean, that's the. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we've been heading sort of eastward, but now we're angling northward, and you're just one day out now, like 8 hours out.
But we can't come in from this direction because there's going to be a sweep of the bots.
Well, you shouldn't
Well,
be
we just
out
need
in
to
this.
get out of here.
You don't want to be in this zone when the drones come around, because they'll definitely stop and scan you.
Okay.
I mean, the
So we-
closer we get to the city, the drone shouldn't matter, right? I mean, they're going to scan out here, probably. Is that how that works? I mean, they wouldn't scan by the city, I wouldn't think. That should all be reclaimed or whatever.
Like we get inside the patrol radius.
Yeah,
or whatever.
basically, the question is, where do we need to go to get out of the scanning area and then be able to approach the city? I guess is the question.
Yeah, you can. So you can go like 7 clicks back the way you came, or 3 forward, which puts you inside the zone so close to the city they probably won't be scanning actively.
Yeah. Let's go
Okay.
right up to the city.
Okay.
That's
Are we
defense
looking
is a good
for, like,
offense.
a way to sneak in? I'm just curious. Like, are we gonna like try and hop on a train? Hey, Reggie, you're not a baby anymore. We don't have to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
We don't have
That's
to do
good.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
and he's got
also,
I think that was. Yeah.
I think we had a thing we were talking about where we were going to trigger some sort of an emergency for the train gate to open, correct?
Yes. Yeah. We were planning on going in through one of the train
The train,
entrances.
yeah.
And
Yeah. But we needed
ghosting
an
the
emergency.
system to make it think that a train was coming so that we could go through.
Well, so I'm not opposed to that. I think that might be the easiest way to get in. Ulla, how much surveillance do they have in the city, right? So if there's an alarm, if the city's under heavy surveillance, then I would
Depends
imagine
on the section that we go into. If we go into one of
She's right.
we'll say less affluent areas, they don't really, pay as much attention. So we just need to enter in through one of those areas. And the trains, they pass through there. So I think if we just hop on one of the trains and travel to one of those areas and hop off, I don't know.
yeah, that works.
That's how I got. That's how I got out. That's what I'm guessing. Is that right, Todd?
Yeah, well, the most likely area and the closest place where the trains enter is at the due south end of the city. On the left side is Lessing Heights, which is a corporate enclave. It's actually nice property. But on the right side, it's Hadid, which is just a bunch of. It's actually an industrial sector. Most of it is giant stacks of steam spewing replicators and garbage recyclers. But it's surrounded by but it's surrounded by these sort of prefab housing kind of suburbs for the workers at those plants. So it's right between, actually, on the train tunnel sort of divides the town. There's the rich sector on the left and a rather dingy sector on the right.
Yeah, so we'll just turn on the right.
What you're gonna want to do is probably get off the train very early, and then make your way somehow through the industrial sector, where there is surveillance, but there's not a lot of police surveillance. It's mostly industrial surveillance, looking for competing drones, air traffic that shouldn't be there. The people on foot don't really cause much attention in these districts.
Because they're not trying to set the building on fire. They don't care.
If you have weapons, you'd probably be sensed. That's something that you might want to. It does make, because you're carrying metal with a particular shape, you are a little more likely to be spotted in any circumstance by a drone with the right vision software.
So I think then,
for instance, Ulla can see your gun.
Right. If you're looking for it, though.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so Reggie's pistol should be easily concealable. Trae's pistol is easily concealable. If we have the leather dusters kind of stuff for existing in this space, then as we get closer, then I think Nash would just take the coat and then wrap the gun up in the coat, and then maybe carry it like almost like a bindle, right? So just throw something over the end of it, with the coat on it, so it just looks like he's carrying something. Right,
Okay.
And not a rifle slung over the shoulder.
Is that the jacket I'm wearing?
I assume when you get your clothes, you give me the jacket back, yeah. Or
Okay,
you could
so
have
I've
gotten
got-
your own jacket, right? I mean, we got you clothes. You're fully clothed for
Okay.
the environment.
All right.
So
Or
are
I
we
could get a new
planning?
coat.
Right. Are we planning
so we're
on
this conversation is taking place walking. I just want to let you know, right? This is
Are we planning on dumping the train immediately once we get into the city limits, or do we want to ride this to a safe point? Because I'm assuming
actually you probably don't want to literally ride one of these trains, because you would probably need a vac suit in order to survive that.
No, true, because they're tunneled.
And they move so fast that one false move and you break every bone in your body.
True.
But if I remember correctly, the plan was to hack the system so that it believed there was an emergency train coming.
Yeah.
Not that there necessarily was one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Okay. I think as we're walking to, Nash offers Reggie the riot shield or the shield to say, I know you're kind of excited about double fisting, but maybe you want to take this just go one at a time. It'll give you a little bit of cover anyway.
Nash, once we get into the city proper, that could make him look a little too obvious. We do want to attempt to blend in as normal people.
All right, that's fair. Should we ditch it then? I guess we ditch it before we get in the city.
I believe so.
All right, that's fair. You're probably right. You're probably right.
That's probably good. Yeah. Unless I wear it on my back, like a back shield. Let's just get rid of it.
So, after about 8 hours, you approach, within a mile of the city. The dome. I don't want to try screen sharing because it crashes my browser. I can drop it in the Discord. So, Ulla, of course, has seen this before, and you guys have seen a different version of the same city. It's a little bit weird to look at it this way, right? Because it's the same. Once you can see the towers, you can actually recognize some of the towers from having been here before. Reggie, especially because you drove a cab here. And I'm going to drop a picture in the DayTrippers Discord. Now you guys are really close up, and you can see from some distance that there's a large square protruding structure. What you don't see here, because this view is from the exact wrong angle, is the train tunnels which approach the city from the south. Let's say this picture is taken from the north, so you can't see that. There are walls on both sides of the track that form an almost tube. It's open on the top, but walled on both sides. Sort of some sort of clear cerament mix, so you can see through it to the other side, but blurrily. It's probably carbon reinforced, making it, almost impossible to break through it. But if you could get up to the top, you could drop down into it. And then on either side of where the train tunnels go in, there are buildings extruding from the dome. And one of those buildings, although you're not sure which at this distance, will be some sort of intake immigration center, which you could walk into and claim refugee status, for instance. That was what we discussed when you were traveling with the kids.
Yeah, but then Ulla, unless we attempt to disguise her face, will be immediately recognized.
Ulla is wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of you could claim that you were survivors from some blown up suburb or something, but yeah, Ulla would probably be recognized.
Is it something you could hack, Trae, and make it so that her image isn't recognizable?
In theory, yes. It would not be my first time hacking into the city systems.
Okay, we get it. I love you so much, Trae, for all the things you do.
I mean, the other thing, Reg.
The funny thing is, Trae doesn't even have an ego about this. He's simply stating a fact.
Right.
Right?
I mean, I was thinking I could maybe do some sort of glamour, you know how that works. But I don't know. I mean, I'll probably have to keep that up, right?
I mean, just during the scan, right? I mean,
but is that did we already establish that was an ongoing risk being inside the city, that at any point in time she could be recognized by some sort of thing?
I mean, if a camera picks her up, then yeah, for sure. But what other choice do we have? I mean, we need to figure out what the fuck's going on. We need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we do.
Is there any I don't know, disguise capabilities that we have?
Nanobots. What about your nanobots?
Yeah, sure. Just rebuild my face.
Yes! I mean, if you...
Sounds like a terrible idea, Reggie.
They do not need to rebuild your entire face. They just need to alter it enough externally so that facial recognition will not be able to match up the cues. There's usually roughly 80 to 100 data points that the facial recognition system will use in comparison. So if you can alter approximately half of those, then it should confuse the system enough that it would not pick you up.
So I would look 50% different.
Trae is absolutely correct. There's one snag in that, but it's not from any city system. It would be from any Wolfram drone. They would not be using city system to track you. They'd be tracking your DNA directly. Now, it's not like Wolfram has drones all over the city. They're not the cops. But as you approach their headquarters, the likelihood of being noticed by one of their drones will increase.
Yeah. And I'm
Can we
also
clone her
at least
DNA?
Trae from his corporate level and intelligence stuff, their Wolfram is probably not going to involve CivSec. Like, they want Ulla, right? So they're not going to be like, hey, there's a murderer in town. You're like, please go get, like, they're going to send their own people after her.
Most likely. Yeah.
Ulla, I'm not sure how well this goes over, but you said that you had a contract to eliminate the pan-cibs. Do you think that they would be amenable to some sort of partnership instead? You have valuable information to trade insofar as that Wolfram wants them dead and was going to send you to do it. Maybe they would be on board with altering the table.
And we've established you are a bargain hunter who's very good at trading.
So far, you would like me to remake my face.
I didn't say that.
No. That was more of
And then
Only portions of it.
bargain with two of the most notorious underworld hacking murderers in the city.
I mean, we'd be there with you.
Yeah,
Well,
we're there.
that's perfectly true, except for the number 2. It's actually 7.
Sorry, 7 notorious hacking murderer criminals in the city.
I did say it was a great plan, but it is a
Right,
plan.
Well,
I mean,
regardless of that,
it is.
I do not believe that they would be able to assist us in getting Ulla into the city.
Okay, so I can attempt to use these things to remake my face. She does have some engineering experience, bioengineering.
You are a
experience.
bioengineer.
I'm a bioengineer. So she's like, some of the things that might be easy to change would be like the color of her eyes, the color of her hair. But like facial structure, it's going to be difficult.
Well, you just have to, to kind of
I think it's more
move
likely
and hold certain things in place for a little bit. That's all.
I think it's easier and more likely to address the surface of your skin rather than digging into your skin or organs in any way.
Mhm.
Just enough to alter those 50 to 60 data points that Trae was talking about.
There's
Yeah.
something like this in Minority Report.
Like they're looking for like the corners of your eyes to be here. If you move them up here, if you move your eyebrows from here to here, like just
Right.
tiny little things. That's all that matter.
Yeah,
Right.
or a little wave of nanobots on either side of your nose that makes your nostrils look larger than they are.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah.
Anything that'll mess up the data structure of your face.
Mhm. All right. Well, she'll give it a try. I mean, she has, black hair and dark eyes and like sort of a dark olive complected skin. So she's going to try and like change those things as well, just to make herself less noticeable. So
Mhm.
I think she'll try and change her eyes to like probably like a pale, like whitish blue. She'll go with white hair. And she'll see if she can just, change it, make her skin paler, like just change her features so that she looks slightly different. Where are we? We're like walking up in the city while she's trying to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we stop somewhere. Like
We're practicing.
we're having this conversation, and then you're like, all right, well, fuck it. I guess I'll try it. And maybe we're still like a half a mile out, or
Well, I think probably if you would like to practice it now, but I believe the best bet would be to really push yourself right as we are about to hit checkpoint, if we are indeed going in through the immigration checkpoint.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so we sneak in. We're just trying to keep the from getting scanned while we're in the city and me being recognized. Todd, I think I have the capability of changing this enough and in such a way that it's going to stay that way for the remainder of the time that I'm in the city?
No, you're not sure of that.
well,
In fact, you're not exactly sure that you can pull it off at all in a way that will still look like human.
well. But here's the thing: then we don't have to go through the checkpoint. We can do Trae's plan of triggering a false alarm, sneaking in through that door. And then if the concern being then that Ulla gets picked up on a random camera, and then that becomes a problem. So like as long as your head is covered, if you have a hat, a hood, something where your face isn't necessarily exposed, like you're just not walking through the street like do.
Yeah.
We probably should be fine, right? Because they're probably.
I mean, too. Once
come
we're
back.
in the
And if Trae
once
keeps
we're
his
in the
eye
city
out
too,
for
we could get her
vertigo.
like a face covering, right? We could get her like a hollow avatar face, and that's not a problem.
Yeah. I mean, even just a bandana. I mean, I
Ulla.
don't, people look weird walking around with a bandana covering part of your face or whatever. But
I don't remember
Right.
if we've touched on this question before. Do you still carry your personal ID,
I don't know.
or did you have it implanted? Most people have it implanted in their wrist.
I mean, it was probably implanted. I don't know. Did she have to get rid of it in order to leave the city to not be found?
more than likely,
It made it hard to get out without being seen, but we did assume that it was hard to get out without being seen. You used your skills to do it. Once you get away from the city, it hardly matters because that's the whole point. You're getting away from anyone who might scan you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm leaving it open to you. Reggie, for instance, dug his out years ago. It's like the size of a grain of rice, little RFID chip.
I mean, I think she was assuming that if she had it on her, that it would be easier for them to find her. I don't know if that's true or not.
So,
but that's
so if you had it implanted, you think you would have dug it out?
probably.
Okay. Which means that as long as you can prevent the sensors from recognizing your facial features, you could claim any ID and say you're a refugee.
Okay.
I feel like that's better because if we go through like an immigration checkpoint, we're not coming through with machine pistols and rifles, right? Like they're going to question us. They're gonna scan us. They're gonna, what do you have to declare? Where did you come from? All that kind of, like that's not gonna.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Right. Which is
We're not getting in with any of our stuff.
Exactly. That's the big advantage of going in the sneaky way through the train tunnels.
Sneaky way it is then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Speaking of
and
which, here
she's
comes the train now. It's barreling down the tunnel, moving at about 150 miles an hour. And it's not super long, but it does like kind of fill your attention for a minute because you're not far from the tracks. there's this whooshing sound. It's like all you can hear as the train is passing by, and then and it's gone into the city. You're about half a mile out, so you can probably just barely see the glint off the metal as the gates open up and let the train go in.
It was good because I was going to actually check this train schedule to see when the next train was coming. So there we go. I wanted to make sure we're not hopping, trying to go through the gate, and all of a sudden a train at 200 miles an hour comes barreling up on us.
Yeah, that'd
That's a
be a
wrap.
pretty high DL right there.
Right.
Jump out of the way of the bullet train.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess we're gonna. Are we just climbing the side of a building then to get up to the train tunnel?
There was a hole in the top, right? Can we just scale the whole thing?
Well, we have to
somebody
go-
will see that.
If you hold
We'll
your
rappel
arms
down. It's fine.
If you hold your arms up in front of you and curl both hands toward each other, but maybe an inch away from each other, that's like it's a curved walls that don't quite meet at the top center. So if you
How
can figure
far
out
off
how
the
to,
ground is the tunnel?
it's actually 15 feet up,
Oh, that's it. Oh, all right.
and then there's the walls themselves, which is another 15 feet. If you can figure out how to
That's
get up to the top, you could then drop down into the tunnel.
I mean, I could probably make some stairs, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I whenever we're ready to do it, I'll just I'll just make it so that I'll just make some stairs.
So there you go. So Trae's talking about how we could potentially climb up the side of this building, and then if we are able to kind of navigate against the wall, we might be able to
That
find
sounds great.
footing.
That sounds great. Oh, I'll
And
just
then
make
Reggie
some. I'll
stairs.
just make some stairs.
This is an 8, and you're going to want to move real fast here.
Okay. So 5. 5 plus 4 is 9.
Yeah, that is a yes exactly. So you've got like run now, so he doesn't have to hold.
Hey,
it
look,
too
there's
long.
stairs right
There
there.
you go.
Trae.
Go, go, go! Trey, come on!
They're not even a full set of stairs. They're just like a set of plats, like in an angle going up. There's like
Right.
nothing.
They're really
suspending
bad
them.
too. I don't know carpentry or anything like that, or masonry or whatever. It's just like
There's
they
nothing
go easy with
suspending
your
them at all.
footing.
They're just a bunch of steps in the air.
Just believe, and we'll make it.
How does Ulla react?
I know. I'm wondering if I should give her another psyche roll right now. She has seen him do magical shit.
Right. She's seen this kind of stuff before.
She's just promising herself like a thorough like gin binge when she gets done with it.
So I'm pushing you up the steps then.
Everybody moves up the steps, and you're standing on the top of this vast tunnel. It's a little bit slick. You want to watch your footing, but there's a couple feet of relatively horizontal surface that you can all stand on. Probably like helping each other stand. There's a little bit of wind up here. 15 feet below you is a curved, not a rail, but like a bed, like almost a half pipe, which is electromagnetic field generators running in sequence down the line. So it's a 15-foot drop down onto a metal surface.
Mm-hmm.
Mind the gap.
As we're at the top, Nash looks over to Trey and says, when's the next train coming? We don't want to get caught up in here. Probably good info to have before we make a break for it.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that first.
10 minutes.
We have approximately a 10-minute window.
And how far is the distance between here and the wall, and how long is it going to take you to trigger that alarm?
The distance is a
I
couple
assume
thousand
that we
feet.
would probably want to open the entrance first before we jump down, just to make sure, because I do not believe we'll be able to get back up.
No, it certainly doesn't look like it. You go ahead and do your thing. How long do you think that's going to take? Should we wait for the train after?
He's already out. He's already like.
Yeah, but to answer your question, Nash, because you would know this from like training and maneuvers, you're half a mile out. You could run that distance in 3 minutes.
Okay. And if it takes him 2 or 3 minutes to hack it, we've got a really small window.
Trae, this is going to be 2 rolls. First is
Sounds
encryption
good.
to get yourself into the system, which
All
is
right.
a
Am I
5.
going? So I'm going into CitySys, right?
That is, I think, what you're attempting to do.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. The first one is going to be a 7 encryption.
Oh. All right.
Not my
So
best.
this is a yes and.
Ooh.
You have fooled the system into thinking that you are a signal that's supposed to have the right to be here, and maybe what it
and-
is particularly.
Half the time.
Well, so what I was actually thinking is Trae's been, or at least in his universe, been in and out of the CitySys a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Maybe that these 2 systems are the same, so like not physically the same, but they use the same programming, all this kind of stuff. So he is actually very familiar with their environment. So he knows like exactly what directory to go to, what to do.
Okay, you know that you need to make your way into the transport module, which is going to be fairly easy because you're posing as a city security agent of some kind. You're supposed to be in this system, so you have to transfer over to the transportation module, and then once inside there, that's going to take a roll, and then once inside there, you're going to do whatever your actual hack is.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So this is not encryption, but programming. It's fairly easy though. Beta 3.
That's an 8.
Yeah, you're familiar with your way here, so it's not particularly hard for you. You make it.
It turns out that Ralph Arnaldo that he uses in his universe also works transportation in this universe.
I love it.
So it works out perfect.
That's a perfect and. So you are now Ralph Arnaldo, and yeah, he has full right. In fact, he's got full admin access to this panel. Your encryption
never
roll,
changes the password.
Yeah, your programming role, in fact, is going to be at a +1 because he's got full admin permissions here.
That's a 7, and then the +1 is an 8.
Yeah, you're looking to beat a 5. That's also a yes and. Trae, you're on a fucking roll here. Trae's like, his fingers are flying. Everybody's just sitting there watching. It only takes him a few seconds.
So happy to be connected.
I'm in. Oh, I'm still Ralph. That's good. And then
Yeah, you're right.
here you are.
I just love seeing
and all
him
of a
in his
sudden
element.
you hear boom boom and the doors open up.
Run for it.
Drop and go.
And then you're just barreling down this train tunnel through the gates into the city. Trae, the gates have been open now for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
So like as soon as you're in, you might want to drop that, which leaves you guys in total darkness.
Oh yeah. I mean, as soon as we go through, because those doors are usually only open for as long as the train goes through. So yeah, as soon as we go through, and it feels like about a right amount of time, he'll close the door behind us.
You guys are in the pitch blackness of a large round tunnel heading northward into the city. Above you, through the ground, you feel and hear massive vibrations of the industrial sector of Hadid directly overhead.
I'd like
Ulla can kind of see a little bit.
Yeah, can I illuminate the area? Like maybe there's some maybe there's some moss or something that I can illuminate with some bioluminescent lucid dreaming.
There's no moss, but you can easily produce light. Beta 3.
I'm gonna produce some light. so that we can see. There's a 5 in there, so I mean 9.
Yeah, so that is a yes and Reggie. What's the light look like, and how do you do it?
Oh, it's just like it's like when there's no light pollution and you can see the Milky Way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so like the walls of the tunnel light up.
It's just stars. And just natural beauty.
I love
And
it.
we can see
it.
it's just like all that. You know what I'm saying? It illuminates everything. Our souls, everything.
Now
Your soul diamond is glowing.
You're gonna.
It is. It's glowing.
Oh, as a matter of fact, it is glowing with a weird sort of grayish color, which, when you look at it, reminds you of the exact color of Frank's eyes.
Oh,
I don't like that. I
in
don't
my
like that
pocket.
at all.
I
I
hate
don't like
everything
that at
about
all. That's terrible.
I go, Ulla, remind me. I need to give this. I'm going to put this in my pocket, but we need to have a discussion about you looking at this thing after. But I don't want to dive into any sort of meaning about that just yet. Let's get to safety maybe first.
Yeah, we need to get out of this fucking tube.
Yeah, let's get out of this beautifully illuminated tunnel.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely. It's wonderful.
So the light fades after 10 seconds or so. You don't have to keep it constantly going. Like, you get a glimpse and you watch for a few seconds as you move forward, and then it gets dark again. And you can go on in the dark for a little bit and then light it up again. You're gonna have to do that a few times, and I'm not gonna make you roll for it. But you do have to move, a couple thousand feet to so now there's a platform on the side of the track, and it's some sort of maintenance station. And then a few hundred feet beyond that, there's a broader platform that's for passenger embarking and disembarking. That's a station up there. And there
Do we maybe want to get off at the maintenance platform and not jump off the tracks where people might be?
Yeah, or wait for the train to come and then scoot out while the doors open.
Oh, that sounds like a horrible idea. You want to try to dodge a 150 mile per hour train? Oh, okay.
Hug the wall.
Well, so maybe my conception of it is wrong. So it's nothing but smooth wall and then the station, and then over here there's a ladder with a maintenance section. Is that it's two completely separate things, unattached?
In the section where you guys are, it's pretty much nothing but smooth wall, although they're formed actually in bands, and in between the bands there's space between which you can see just rough rock. These create a magnetic field that keeps the train in the center of the tube. But up ahead on the right side, there's a gap in the wall, which enables a platform to be accessed. And that's a small maintenance platform. You can tell because there's a bunch of machinery and pipes, and it's painted yellow and red. And in Trae's AR, it's redlined. So
that makes sense.
Citizens are not supposed to enter that area. But then a little further down, there's a much broader platform, again on the right-hand side, and that's a station. So there's a large break in the curved walls at that point.
So, but my question then is, can that upper platform be accessed from where we are?
Oh, well, you'd have to sort of jump up to it, grab it, and pull yourself up, but it's 7.5 feet above the floor.
Okay, but we would have to do that with the train there. Okay, so definitely no. So maintenance area then.
Yeah.
Right, or then wait for that train to pass, jump back down, and then help each other to hop up after the train.
I mean, my worry is just that there's probably people on that boarding platform, and I just don't want to be if people come running out of a tunnel and climb up onto the platform, that's going to draw a ton of attention. Someone's probably going to call the cops.
Yeah, you can hear them before you get close enough to see them. But if you get close enough, you'll also see a few people standing on the platform. You also hear music playing from up there. It's the sound of a train station. There's people standing around talking.
My thought was if it had been accessible from underneath without us climbing up, as the train was there. if we could go up some steps and then sort of exit as the doors are opening from the train, it might be a good way to like just merge with the traffic. But if we have to climb up from underneath as well as dodging the train, that's not a thing that's on the table.
Yeah, if there is a way to get below the platform, you don't see it.
Yeah.
Although
that's fine.
it does stand to reason that if you enter the maintenance section, there's some way,
There has to be a way out.
series of hallways or whatever that will connect you to
yeah.
the main building.
Yeah. We'll definitely do that. Well, I'm assuming that's probably the safer plan.
Yeah. Trae will bring this up when we come up to the first platform and say we should probably take this because there's people up there.
Not a terrible idea for Trae to be in point position, as a matter of fact, because your AR is giving you like red lines and stuff that the others don't see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would a distraction help?
I do not believe at this moment, but
I don't
thank
think
you,
you
Reggie.
even need one. Yeah, you can get up on the maintenance platform without attracting any attention from the station.
Perfect.
Now there's a locked door and a digital padlock in front of you, but that's not going to be too hard for Trae. This is security 4.
Let's see. I rolled a 5, and then encryption.
Yeah.
Or just straight up programming.
I'm going to let you use the mod that you got before when you broke into the transport system.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, this is applying to this here. So you're right. It's just programming.
Yeah. So that's an 8 plus 1, 9.
Yeah. No problem. You're through the door and something good.
And it is it's a clear path. There's no I can see that there's no workers on right now. And it looks like a clear shot all the way up into the building.
You go through that door, you make a hard right. There's a large hallway. You can tell that the station is right there. It's, in fact, and the exit doors to the street, which go up some stairs, are on your right. There's also bathrooms right here and a bunch of vending machines with, card swipe, get your snacks kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A little food hub. So, there's also a couple little boutiques, like you find in airports. Like they're selling tablets and software and clothing for travel. So pretty much anything you wanted to pick up, you could. If you're hungry, there's some food. You want to get up to the street, there's the door. You want to go out to the platform.
Well, I'm assuming though none of us have cred. Like we don't have money.
Only street cred. You said there was a bathroom, right? Reggie goes to the bathroom.
Did you say it was a vending machine, Todd?
Yeah.
When Reggie comes back out, adjusting his zipper or whatever, I'm like, hey, could you just like disappear the glass for a second? And we'll just
You're done.
We just grab it.
Okay, but
I want
to
like a liquid.
I want to back up. I'm sorry, but I want to back up a little bit.
Probably
good. Because Reggie, while you're taking a leak,
yes,
the
leak.
You notice that that stone is still glowing with that weird gray light, and it's feeling warm. Not hot, just a little warm. You're sitting there, you got your pants down around your ankles, and it's touching your leg. You're like, oh, what's that?
This was not my intention.
Wait a minute, did it just become canon that Reggie pees at urinals with his pants all the way down?
Well, I saw the look on his face when I said taking a leak, and that made me realize.
I was a diaper wearing adult for a long time.
It made me realize he's probably a number 2, and he's probably really enjoying it right now.
Right, it's the first since. What are we doing?
It's at what, like Mercure? What is it, Mercure or whatever? The first time the kid poops.
Oh God!
After being born.
You know what? I take full responsibility for this, and I do apologize to everyone involved.
But the
yeah,
real point here is that the stone is still glowing and it's growing warm.
Okay, I stare at it for a minute. Is it nothing about its outward appearance has changed? Or is it just
it's radiating with this dull gray light, and it. Okay, psyche roll.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah. 5. Oh, I'm hitting the 5s on these psyche rolls. 5.
Which is like a 9 for you or something crazy, right?
Well, if I'm adding my
Right.
lucid dreaming, yeah, but yeah,
Wow.
it's a My Little Pony dice though. They've been very good to me. over
Wait,
the
you have
years.
My Little Pony dice?
Oh,
He does.
Oh,
he
yeah.
got him
Leslie.
from what, the Hasbro show, right?
HasCon,
Yeah.
yeah, down in Prague. Friendship and magic. It's got a little generic fantasy logo in between the friendship and magic. It's how we roll. Yeah, they're beautiful. Oh, they're beautiful. And they've been. I only use the D6s for this. That's the only. I don't use it for anything else. They've been magical for me this entire time, ever since I've started on this DayTrippers journey.
They're the
So
amazing
simple.
My Little Pony dice.
Hmm.
It's Frank. It's like he's trying to contact you.
Yeah, I'll pick up.
This
You
is
let
a
that
You're not
shit
gonna
go to
go
the dial tone. You do not
Right? You let
You
that
let
go
your
to
answer-
voice.
answering machine, something. I don't know.
Yeah, you just open up your mind and let it in, and beat a 4 with a lucid dreaming roll. It's really not hard
Yeah.
at all.
No, shouldn't be.
Roll a 1.
4 plus 4 is an 8.
Yeah, right. See, so this is going to be a yes and. So, you do open up the feeling of Frank, the voice of Frank, comes into your head. He's like, I had another dream about you. I've had too many of these for it to not mean anything. I know you're important and I don't know why, but they're watching you. I can't. They're watching me too. Is this you? And suddenly you see an image, and the image is a marker, like a headstone. And it says, Reggie Aloysius Carlisle, one of the brave, lost to the cow. And next to it, you see a marker for Jack Nash. And on the other side of it, you see a marker for Steve-O Tar.
Oh. That's a deep old cut. Yes and no. I mean, you know what? We don't need to split hairs here. Yes, but I'm not the one that's. I'm from a different. I mean, we don't. You get it. Yes. The answer is yes,
But also no.
but also no. Thank you, Nash.
So Frank is already fading. This has been one action frame.
Hey, okay. Yeah.
On the way out, he warns you again, don't come here. They're after all us dreamers.
You know I have to.
He's gone.
I just go, of course you heard the last thing I said, of course, because it was cool and of course everything worked out. And now is it still glowing and warming?
No, it's now it's just like a regular crystal again.
Okay,
It's clear.
all right. It's good. It's like a communication device. I'll file that away for later, and I put it back in my pocket, and I leave the bathroom. This was my fault. I acknowledge that. I get up and I leave the bathroom that I said I went in.
And
my
Nash
hand-
Did you
asks you,
disappear this glass?
yeah.
Yeah, I just I made it liquid before I went in there. You just kind of reach in.
Oh yeah, shit. Okay. Anybody else hungry? Those lizards aren't very filling.
There are some Nutri-Meat sticks in here.
They're
have
loaded
some-
with protein, though.
Yeah.
Load up our pockets because we don't have any
Yep.
money.
Hey, can I just say this real quick while we have a second? This Crystal, Ulla, maybe this could interest you too. So I just spoke with Frank through it.
You what?
In the bathroom?
Even Trae turns and looks at Reggie like, "Why did you bring that
I
up?"
did it
now?"
again. I did it again. I'm not good at this. I'm sorry. I almost just said, Leslie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not good at this, Ulla. You know, I'm trying to just let's just.
Why would you talk to the crazy demigod?
Well, what did he say? What
I mean, we've spoken a number. So okay, maybe this is for now then. So he basically showed me my own grave, which is fun.
What?
And he asked me if that was me. So you can imagine my answer was yes and no. You know, like yes, that is me, but also no. And a warning that they're coming, that they're watching, and they're coming for all the dreamers. So that's fun, right? But we knew that already.
Is it Cordoba?
No. I mean, he didn't say. It sort of faded out because it was glowing. It was glowing.
I'm sorry, Trae, your ears pick up at that.
Oh yeah, I was letting Reggie finish his sentence. Yeah.
It's best not to let me finish my sentences. It's best to just cut me off because, you know, I'm just going to start talking about.
So at that point, then Trae will kind of pull his sleeve up and bump up the hollow tattoo, and he'll actually just run it all down super quick. He'll be like Nash, and he'll bring up Reggie's death certificate.
Oh yeah.
He'll bring up the picture of Nash as when he was arrested last. He'll pull up his own death certificate, and then he will pull up the news headline of Cordoba taking over as CEO of Wolfram Inc.
Also, Steve-O is dead.
Oh, so please understand that I find all of this to be just absolutely insane. But what if they actually are killing off you in this world on purpose? This reality? Is that how we talk about it? Whatever. What if they did that on purpose? They certainly.
That would add a layer of mindfuckery to this. Yeah, of course.
Well,
you can make somebody look like an accident.
No, if it is a potential that the Cordoba from our reality had potentially contacted the Cordoba of this reality, then yes, they could be hunting us down universally.
Or the Cordoba of your reality was here first.
But Reggie is recalling Frank's exact words. He didn't say they're coming after you all. He said they're coming after us.
The dreamers.
The dreamers, specifically. No, yeah. But
Kermit's
maybe,
song.
but maybe, fuck, I don't. This is above my pay scale, but maybe that this is what Cordoba does in every reality, right? Like this is his
his
reason for
constant.
being.
He's the dream collector.
Like a Kang.
But if you're dead here, then it gives us the upper hand, right? I mean, they wouldn't expect to see you, but if they're watching, but how could they know? I mean, fuck, we just got here.
Either he knows or he's prepared for the possibility because he's aware of the whole,
All right. Well, think back the first time you saw Frank. He had a few words for Reggie, but then he also looked at Ulla. He was including her. Well, he knows Wolfram's watching her. He himself is watching Reggie. And those two things just happen to add up. They line up in the same direction. And that's where we're going to end this episode.
All right.
Just
Fair.
pondering. Just, oh, fuck.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for checking this out. We are happy, ecstatic to have Reggie back to his full person self.
Full manliness.
I am man again.
As if Press just released the launched new website, so check that out.
Thank you.
Yep. We links for Patreons and all the shit's in the show notes, all the core things. So check all that stuff out. Ratings and reviews on iTunes, whatever your podcatcher of choice is. I always say super helpful. I don't know. Nobody contacts us for shit. We don't rank anywhere, so I don't know that it really matters, but it's nice if you do it, right? It makes us feel good. You know, we'll share that out, whatever. It's fine. I don't know. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Post show?
Post show?
That's the best.
Spicy. Spicy.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Oh man, we're in the city. We're in the city.
So-
Oh,
It only
God.
took 9 episodes to get into the city.
Oh, before we get distracted, I think
Oh,
the
sorry.
implication of the ending of the episode is that Ulla is also a dreamer.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
I don't know that.
Wait, you don't know that?
No.
Oh, God, the layers.
It
I don't
more or
know
less
that.
seemed like that's what you were implying.
Or connected somehow to
Well, maybe we need to back up and listen to the video because it is possible that Ulla was included, but all that we know for sure is that Frank knows Wolfram's after her.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that. I mean, she told us as much.
Okay, but when he said us dreamers, that was just between him and Reggie. Different
Okay.
convo.
All right. Yeah, I'm reading too much into it. I thought that's where John was hung up at, and I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to step on that moment.
Mm.
If
Well,
that was the realization that Reggie made.
No, it was there was a bit of that, but it was sort of like it's like, oh, there's something. It's like, okay, there's a dreamer layer here, and then so now so there's other. It was just like another layer, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, I won't rule out that Ulla is a dreamer, but even Ulla doesn't know if she is or not. Like,
The
if
other-
she was, she doesn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in
The-
that whole system, you know,
Yeah,
there
so
might
none
be
of
more
us
than
know it.
just
So, well,
dreamers,
Reggie,
like that,
right?
Yeah,
Reggie might voice this theory, and everyone might say that's possibly true, including me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it is true.
Sure. The other thing that occurs to me is if that's the case, that Susie's probably here as well. I don't know that
Oh,
Nash would
absolutely.
voice that necessarily, but
definitely.
like the thought occurs to me.
Trey's got her file
absolutely.
all ready to go, just to.
I don't know about her.
That's
Trey
right.
doesn't know about
didn't-
Susie.
Right. Right when it would just be dramatically the most impactful for you as a character.
Yeah, I mean, Trae might know her name because Nash talks about her once in a while, but that's like a chapter of his life that was pretty much over by the time Trae came in.
I don't
Well-
think he's ever mentioned her around him
Nope.
before.
Absolutely not true, because when you broke in, when your plan was to break into Somnambula, we ended a session with, oh, I have another name for you to look up, and it was Susie's.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So
Yeah.
so you know I don't know how well you know the story, but you know the
You wouldn't
story
ask.
because I'm sure it would
You
have
wouldn't
then
ask,
come up like, why the fuck are you want this person's name for?
He
Well
wouldn't have
enough to
asked.
go
He
deep.
would just assume
Mm.
probably she's like somebody that works in Somnambula that
That's fair. I mean, that
maybe
could
is
be.
a contact for you or something. Like,
You definitely know the name for sure.
yeah. Like, don't kill this person if you go inside the building.
He's got his do not kill list going.
I do.
He needs it.
And all of you are on it.
But you,
Are we?
You are. Wait, let me see.
it physically exists in the real world.
It does. I'm gonna
Oh my
hold
God.
on. You guys talk, and I'll find my do not
I
kill list.
specifically told Trae not to kill Ulla, so she has to be on
Yep.
the list.
Yep.
I just feel like there's a but in there in that statement somewhere. But
When's the last
Yeah.
time you?
No, I
updated
have. Yeah,
your
my
film?
guidelines. I have guidelines of do not hack Nash's house, do not kill dream people. Dream world constraints though are
Creeper?
better than ours. They overrule ours. And we all support Nash apparently, and do not kill Ulla.
That sounds like something
So-
Reggie would have said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
I added some stuff to the list. No,
I love it. We could call this series "Raising Trae." You all are contributing.
So do we kill Cordoba in this reality? I think
Yeah.
this might be the last straw for Nash. I don't know.
Why stop the streak?
Is this Prime Cordoba? Is this Cordoba Prime? This little
I'm
unravel
assuming.
everything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we killed him. We killed him twice already.
You say we, it was you.
It was me, yeah. But I'm assuming like pretty much almost every reality we were in, we skipped a bunch of realities, right? Like narratively. Like we've talked about there's the assumption we were at least in like a half dozen or so before we got here.
But they all didn't necessarily involve Cordoba like us.
Oh, we probably would have
Succeed,
made
yeah.
it though. Like if we got to him, we would have killed him. Trae would have killed him.
Killed him.
Yeah. Nash has to have the ultimate, catharsis kill of Cordoba.
Yeah, it was probably one of those things where he like looks to Nash real quick, being like, "Are you going to do it?" No, okay. Like,
While that's a fair assumption, I also think that most of these random worlds, like you were barely there for an hour before, like the Earth turned to sand and began swallowing buildings or whatever. the fuck.
right?
Yeah, we had to find him quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty much find the ship and get the fuck out because nothing
Right,
lasts
exactly.
long.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh.
levels of insanity that Ulla is just barely beginning to perceive.
How is she feeling right now?
Yeah, that's bad. That's some bad business.
Oh God, I don't know that she knows how she. I don't. Yeah, I think
might-
she's. Little cracked.
Mhm.
These
Yeah.
guys have said that, like from the very first scene where you guys first met, and Nash was trying to explain where they came from and who they were, and like these guys have always seemed crazy on a level. Like a lot of the stuff they say is just impossible. So part of you is just like these guys are crazy talkers. That's just them. But it's starting to dawn on you that no, they're not crazy. The shit they're talking about actually happens.
Or it's worse. It's worse than what we've said.
Right.
Yeah, she's,
I mean, you probably have a better handle on the idea that we don't even know how bad it is. Like I don't know.
I think she's, I think she's just responding. She's having a lot of irrational feelings and is just going to be, maybe a little more unpredictable. And her, like she's been very controlled.
Like
And all of her-
grounded.
And all of
Maybe.
her responses and the way that she handles things.
Practical.
Yeah.
Generally,
right.
And I think maybe there's,
Oh no.
Make your way over to Trae's side where reality doesn't even exist.
I'm like, oh, she's gonna go full
Reality
Trae.
doesn't exist and nothing matters. So you can kill whoever you want because they're not alive anyway.
God damn, we're gonna have to make a list for Ulla now.
You know, the date on that Cordoba article is 2.5 years ago, and if Ulla's reckoning of time is correct, that means Cordoba took over at Wolfram a few months after the reality fractures began. That might be of note to somebody.
So reality fractures, he comes in here and like they brought him over, or
Like
maybe they brought him
started
over as
somewhere else.
yeah. Well, so there could be the assumption that he was already all right. Was he promoted from within Wolfram, or was he brought in outside and given the position?
He was the article was talking about how he was brought in from outside because new technology at Wolfram interfacing with the deep structure of human consciousness may unlock the key to dreaming, and this is exactly his area of specialty.
Yeah, so that's why they knew they had already been experimenting with this shit, and they brought him over. They brought him in and put him in charge as a specialist.
And without Zion diaspora in this reality, potentially,
right?
So they don't have the ships to make the jumps.
Oh no, they're just fucking opening holes. Yeah. That's it.
They're just opening up holes probably using Frank and any other dreamer that they can find.
No, I mean they could be doing it with temporal technology. So like they're actually, but they, whereas Diaspora actually did it in a controlled manner, and he was doing it for exploration and all this kind of stuff. Like they're doing it for profit, and they're going, they're following old school tech of like go fast, break things. And so they're just like how, like, just open a portal. I don't give a shit what it does. Open a portal, throw someone through it, see what happens.
Yeah. And without the resistance field, the demons are probably the people they're throwing into the portals coming back all fucked up.
That's why there's no DayTrippers. Like there's no missions. Like there's just
yeah.
It's them just opening up portals and seeing what'll happen.
Well, that's fun.
Yep.
Sounds lovely.
I have to kill him this time.
Yeah, in this reality, we have no diaspora. We have no slip capacitor. We have no temporal resistance
flux
field.
Capacitors. Even
we have none of that shit. But we do have dreamers and brain tech.
Here's the cool thing: Wolfram and Cordoba are going to be in the same place. So, like,
right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be
they
like
are the same thing. They are the same thing.
Yeah.
Imagine what that final boss battle room is going to look like.
It's going to be like
temporal pole in there.
It's going to be like Reservoir Dogs. It's going to be like a Quentin Tarantino film. It's going to be blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
y'all.
We'll all be on the same page.
I mean, yes. I will say that Ulla's, I mean, now that she's back, like she's going to be very like trigger happy because there's so many people that she's just like, well,
it's gonna be like a John Wick movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
John Wick 37.
Yeah, I think she's probably
playing
like,
down at the holographic cinema right now in Union City.
It's just like I try to just leave, and they won't leave me alone. So if you won't leave me alone, then
yeah, right. Oh boy,
you're gonna get what you're asking for.
We're gonna take Trae off the leash.
Yeah, it all has to come down. I think they just do this too much.
Right? I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah, or at least like you have to leave it in like Frank's hands or something. He's just like,
Nah, I don't want. I'd like to keep this personal.
Well, this
Like,
lines
well-
up three of you, like Nash and Reggie and Ulla. Their enemy is like literally the same entity now. But Trae is the only one you've got the side question of your clash. Like, do they recognize you? Do they think it's the right you? So there's a dangling thread over there for Trae, but for everybody else, it's like the narrative has lined up, and you're all pointing in the same direction.
I mean, Trae doesn't really need an excuse to murder anybody.
No.
No,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think Ulla's yeah, it's like, well, if you're not gonna leave me alone, then
Right.
Again, I mean, I think it begs the question of whether or not it makes sense to, and not that you can necessarily contact the Pansibs, but to enlist their aid or at least provide information, even if they're like, hey, this was the deal, but like, I'm not doing that. But just so that you know, they're out to get you and leave. And then let them handle a lot of this on their own, you know?
well, I will
but
say
that was
this.
also some time ago.
Yeah.
People
I'll-
want...
So she has cyber clairvoyance that she's never used around you guys. Like not in all this time. And there's a point at which if she goes into, well, we're hunting down and killing people, then she'll start using it. So
You're right
We-
back getting copied.
we might at some point be finding out some information about some people to track them down. I mean,
Nice.
and take them
Yes.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's like what she was made for, right?
Right?
That's what she was engineered for.
Oh, we're
You
gonna
haven't
start
used
crossing
it, you
names
haven't
off
told
lists.
us about it.
No, we have no idea. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun moment when
Yeah.
that comes out.
Yeah.
Did Mom? I don't remember. You didn't. I mean, you did tell us that they sent you to kill them, right?
I think the way that she has described it to you guys, that they did stuff to her to make her a better killer, a better hunter, you know, for their targets. And
Mhm.
I don't think she went into any detail as to what they did specifically. I mean, she just called them cyber enhancements, right? She has
Yeah,
cyber
yeah.
enhancements, and those are obvious. Like she's got this full spectrum vision and she's got this other crap. And so I think those things were, you know, just hand waving him.
Well, but my
Yeah.
point being that you at least on some level were like, oh, well, they wanted me to kill a bunch of people and I left.
Yeah. And she told
Yeah.
you who it was, and she told you about the Pansibs, and she said, you know, that she just wasn't willing to keep going down this route, and
Right.
and that's why she got out of it, and that's why she stopped using the ability, you know, or whatever that they gave her, because
However, it does mean, I mean, maybe it's not of huge value to tell them that, you know, Wolfram wanted you to kill them last year or 2 years ago or whatever it was. But if you wanted to enlist their aid, you, having done some recon, you probably do know how you could contact them, which most people don't.
yeah. I mean,
Again, I'm not saying it's a good idea. I just, you know, it's another card that we have to play, and also Trae, contacting his Clatch, because they didn't come back to kill him. They acknowledged that okay, well, we assume that it's you, right? Because the drone dipped and like, okay, fine. So that's also another card that's on the table that we could potentially play.
Well, Andy's dead in this reality too, right?
I
Well,
think
yeah.
so.
So
Yeah.
what in the question in the Clatch's mind is going to be, is this somebody posing as Trae? Is it an alternate Trae, or is it the real Trae and he didn't die but he faked his own death for some strategic reason?
And
Which
why?
is all of those are possible.
And I
Yeah.
wonder why Trae would be dead. Like, I get Steve-O, Reggie, and Nash, right? Because we went into the cow and then never made it back.
According
But-
to the news article, he was killed in an accident in an industrial salvage zone.
Yeah. Okay.
I was on a mission and I got killed. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that in and of itself makes sense,
Yeah.
I guess, right? I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
I mean, it doesn't come up a ton, but like Trae was special ops. Like, he was corporate special ops,
Right.
but like he was constantly out on like doing espionage and taking out other
Yeah, but
various like
Don't
that's
you
what he
think it's-
did.
Don't you think it's quite the coincidence that all of you are dead in this reality? All of you?
No, Nash is alive.
Nash is
Nash is
alive.
still
He's in
working on it.
jail.
Now you give
Yeah,
him 6 months.
he's
and
in
he might be
prison
dead.
right now, but he's
Well, but Frank showed Reggie
Yeah, that was I was going
a
to bring that up. Yeah.
tombstone with my name on it as well. It said that we were lost in the cow.
Yeah, but that tombstone is not from this reality.
Yeah, I was wondering that as well because it's my tombstone says something about the cow, and that isn't how
Right,
Trey
exactly,
showed
yeah.
me I died in this particular reality.
People,
So,
no
like,
one in
yeah.
this reality would refer to this Reggie as a brave explorer of the cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, makes sense because there's no day tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that reality came from either your home reality or another reality where day tripping does exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I don't really know how to I really don't know where to put that in my
The
brain.
simplest, the most obvious explanation is that Frank, who can jump from reality to reality in his dreams, happened upon your home reality. And because he can sense you, he doesn't know who you are. He didn't recognize you as a baby. He didn't recognize you as a man. He recognized you as the energy force that you are, a dreamer. He knows you're another dreamer. He just knows it psychically.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he also felt the same thing when he looked at your grave. Actually, it wasn't your grave. It was your memorial because your bodies never came back.
It almost might not even matter what reality that was even from.
But it makes sense if you guys left on the mission to rescue Scylla and Steve-O. All right. It was sometime out there.
Yeah.
You ended up in Frank's universe instead of your real one. And that means that 24 hours goes by, boom, you all cease to exist.
Mm-hmm. How does that work if you can make it back to the right timeline, though?
No one's ever done it, but it would take a 3-way slip space calculation to jump back to a moment in your own timeline just at the same exact moment that your other you left it. No one's ever done it. Would it cause a paradox? Or would you just Rick and Morty yourself? Don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because the universe that you left then would close behind you after 24 hours. And then the new one acts as if you have always been there.
Mm-hmm. In theory, it should be possible to jump if you time it just right.
Todd,
Hmm?
I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but what does her clairvoyance provide? Like, does it provide future location for someone? Like, they're gonna be here type stuff?
It's not so much precognitive. It's more like, it's like what Trae does with his drones, really. It's the ability to see what's going on in a place where you're not physically,
Mm-hmm.
but unlike Trae's drones, it's not a visual sense. You're feeling what's going on there. If there are people there, you may even feel the mood in the room.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
11.
There you go.
And you may sometimes get visual images of the room as well. It's like, it's more than a camera, though. It's actually kind of like spirit vision. You could say something like that.
Okay. And this was helpful for her in terms of tracking down these people because how was she supposed to use it?
Well, like you could sort of like if Trae was able to, like if you knew they're in this building somewhere, or you needed to know the layout, or if there are any traps, or whether your target was inside, you could basically go through the wall with your mind and look around.
Okay. All right. Can she find people with it? Or find like
Well, you can't find a needle in a haystack, but
Mhm.
if you have seen or been near a person, you might be able to home in on like their signature within a local area.
Yeah. Okay.
If it was someone that you had, seen or experienced somehow before.
And
Otherwise, you don't really know what you're looking for.
And this is more of a question than, I mean, I don't know that we have an answer right now, but I wonder if there's any interaction between the nanobots and that power. I wonder when she uses that, if there's any.
I believe I have given you the mod, whether I said it out loud, because there are times when you have used the nanobots for basically remote recon, which is also what clairvoyance is, but it comes through a different channel.
Mm-hmm.
So, a little bit more likely to get a yes and.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, speaking of which, experience points. 2 for Nash, 2 for Ulla, 2 for Reggie, and 4 for Trae.
Brings me to an even 30 available.
Okay, now I'm going to adjust those a little bit because I'm going to say new location. That's 1 more for everybody. And it's really Nash that found the crystal. So Nash gets the point for that one.
I'm also at an even 20.
I kind of feel like, I don't know this at all, but I have this sense of like arc or season arc where I believe that the previous episode, number 8, was the last episode in the first half of this season. And this was the first episode in the second half.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
First half of the season, Reggie is a baby. At the end of episode 8, we break him out of the jar. And then episode 9, we're in the city. It's a whole new thing.
Yep.
That makes sense. Just took us a while to get there.
So where we left
Exposition.
Where we left off, we are in the tunnels underneath the industrial part of the city, hiding out.
Well, you've come up into the in between the maintenance area and the platform proper.
Mhm.
There's like a hallway with a bunch of vending machines and stuff. That's where you are.
So we're just hanging out in the hallway. Okay.
Yeah, just getting some vending machine snacks, using the bathroom.
Listen, this would be almost like the train terminal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like the bathroom and
Yeah.
the
The water
vending
fountain.
machine.
I feel like I can just like hear the piped in crappy music and
And you know,
Right.
the doors that you came in through are the ones at the end of the maintenance tunnel that are marked "Do not enter."
Exactly. Yeah.
no. Okay. And she needs to get something to cover her face.
Yes. Hat at a minimum. And then maybe, yeah. I don't know if it
We'll
would
just
make
get
sense.
you a whole new hollow face. That's fine. Just
Yeah, with no money.
Yeah, you all are
you
except
can
for
take
Trae.
care of that. Money is easy. It's
Trae
all
can just
computerized.
create. Yeah, he can just
For
create some
Trae,
money.
it's pretty easy. Yeah, the rest of you are all
Yep.
discons. Effectively, you're all discons in a city of ubiquitous computing. Trae is the only one connected to the system.
We'll have Trae coin in just like an hour.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Half the
That's
city
not
will
a
go
bad
black
idea.
as he-
So
as he's-
only to prime the gear for next session. But Trae in like this Trae in his reality probably had like an underground contact for like ghost pids and things like that, or would that have been something that he would have done like
That
through
would
crap?
probably come through channels.
Yeah.
They set that up for you, like James
Right, yeah.
Bond going down to meet Q. Here are the weapons for this
Yeah.
mission. Reggie.
My buddy, my best buddy.
Then yeah, all right. So that's an easy. I wanted to figure that out.
I'm with you on the first
so.
half of that sentence. I'm sure that Trae has some connections in
Yeah.
Ubiquitous City. I just think that the stuff he used on missions came from above.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, because just in terms of like actual, if I could get them some ghost IDs or some temporary shit, just to get us around town.
Absolutely, great idea.
Yeah.
Good chance you know at least one fixer who could set that up.
Yeah, probably have to head over to Sunridge.
You even know where to go. See that?
Right. You don't know me, but I know you have a hole in a wall somewhere.
Dig it.
Nice. I like it a lot. You guys are amazing. There's like, it depends a lot. There's a lot of chemistry. Okay, so I mean, he wasn't totally wrong. I did talk a lot in the Wicked Garden game. There's a lot of it is Tod talking, but I felt like they were giving me nothing, so I had to keep throwing stuff out there. With you guys, you go back and listen to this tape. There's very little Tod talking because you guys are just fucking amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just run. As much leash as you give us, we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yes, it is.
Drunk Ulla's the best Ulla.
That was awesome.
That was I don't even. I felt so bad. So bad. But it was so good.
I even saw Leslie like leaning over when she wasn't even talking, like method acting the whole thing.
Yes. So method.
You gotta get into it, right?
It was like the exact response that like a person would have to what happens. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
I know these idiots been saying this shit since I've known them, but then like actually seeing it, being like they weren't even close.
Yeah.
What it was, there was nothing to prepare you for
There's
the
no
pixelation of
preparation.
your reality.
Yeah.
Just how fragile and fake it is.
Yeah. This thin veneer.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fitting too, because just before we began playing, I don't know if we were on or not yet, but John and I were talking about Cthulhu and how like what adventurers take for granted, like seeing a deep one, would actually freak a normal person the fuck out. In fact, just seeing somebody get stabbed in front of you might freak you the fuck out. So there's whole different levels of like what will freak you the fuck out. And if it's the first time, that threshold's a lot lower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was shook.
And we're so inured to it at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't even register. It's like, oh yeah, Reggie can just like, warp the world around us. Like that's just a thing that happens. Like
Right.
it's not even something you consider anymore.
Yeah, and like having a new, just like it's yeah, right. It's not something that even registered as it was a something to utilize,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
but not considering how it would look to someone who's actually running with us, like as
Yeah.
a part of the team, like oh, you haven't been exposed to this and this sort of at this level yet. Okay. Yeah, maybe sleep this one off and let's revisit.
I think, and I think it's just, it's just gonna bubble out at times, and some of her responses are just gonna be irrational. She's just gonna be
Nah.
fuck off,
which is fine. and we'll
It's gonna
deal
be-
with that as it comes.
She's gonna be like, Reggie, I don't trust you. Jack, I hate you. Trae, I think you're my friend, but I don't know if that's safe.
Yeah, but you
You're my friend,
never
but you
know.
take
Right?
too many
I'm not sure
liberties.
this is the kind of friends I need.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, right.
This game can change pretty fucking fast. I wouldn't be surprised if by the middle of the second season, Ulla's like, Reggie, summon a hellhound.
Yes, Ulla, and then there will be a hellhound, and then we'll ride it into the sunset.
That's actually in the development of the core system when I was like tormenting myself over how do you do narrative magic? Oh no, you're gonna break the system or whatever. And then it just clicked one day. I'm like, well, what do you call lucid dreaming? What do you call what I've been doing with Reggie this whole time? That's, of course it is. That's narrative magic right there. So Reggie is basically like, even though this is a cyberpunk world or a post-dystopian world,
Fractopian.
post-apocalyptic, yeah, but this particular world is post-apocalyptic fractopian. So it's a blend of the two, right? And therefore, quote unquote, reality based. But basically, Reggie is a mage in this
Mm-hmm.
setting, in this world. He's a wizard.
Chaos mage.
You're a wizard,
Nah.
Reggie.
Oh
It's,
god.
and it's kind of like you got like a fighter, a rogue, and a I don't know, dexterity fighter rogue, and then a wizard.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you've got a bunch of like
We need a barbarian.
we've got a bunch of like weapon specialists, and then one guy who wiggles his fingers. Like it's funny.
I kind of see Ulla as like, in that analogy anyway, sort of like a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
She roams the wild wastes and knows what's out there. She's a loner mostly, and her skills are out there.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm gonna have to go to sleep soon, guys.
Yep.
It's midnight.
Yeah.
Gonna turn into a pumpkin.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pumpkin turning time.
And we'll all have to make psyche rolls if we see it.
Yeah, you don't want to actually see that. There's like no makeup, like just a hot mess.
Yeah, what's
Oh.
the DL of that? Right? You see your friend turn into a pumpkin in front of your fucking eyes. That's at least a 4 right there.
Trauma table.
I've read a lot of fairy tales. I should get a +1.
I think I'm going to be a little offended if you guys have to roll on a trauma table when I go to sleep.
No, I'm taking you quite literally.
God,
I'm
literally
saying
with the makeup. Ah!
you had to roll,
I'm like,
you had to
wait
roll
a
when
minute.
reality pixelated and you saw a baby turn into a man. So I think I'd have to roll if I saw you turn into a pumpkin. I'm sorry, but it's true.
And that baby man gives great hugs.
The best hugs.
Great hugs.
I'm a hugger.
It's going to be so fucking classic when Netflix buys the rights to this and we actually see the CGI baby talking with Reggie's voice. Oh yeah.
Tate Fletcher. That's who Reggie.
See, it won't make it that far though, because they'll cancel it after 3 seasons.
Oh, it won't make 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Netflix cancels shit after 1 season. You know that.
Yeah, but
only
these
if
days-
it's popular.
these-
Only if
you know
it's
what?
popular.
These
Only if
days,
it's popular.
Netflix series don't even have to make sense. We could start with them tumbling into this world. Just start right there.
Right, true. Now we need to pitch it to either Amazon or HBO. Those are the ones that really take series through.
Amazon's probably an easier sell.
Yeah,
The
there
thing
you
is,
go.
it's going to be like one of those tour de force performances because, like, you go baby in a jar, haha, that's funny, that's weird, but then you get used to it, and then the baby in the jar turns out to be this deeply empathetic character. Right? You didn't expect that from the comic relief, did you?
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, Leslie, we got to let you go.
Bye, guys. Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks
Good
for playing.
night.
Yeah, good night.
We'll see ya.
Good night, Ulla.
Oh, trauma table.
Well, I guess we'll wrap this up then. Thanks everybody for checking it out, and we'll catch you next time.
Good night, folks.
Bye.